All right, hello everyone. We are really excited that you are on our new website, Your Genetic Type, where it's all about controlling your biology and getting results faster. My name is Dr. Joel Rosen, and we're here with Dr. John Thomas, and we want to explain to you what your genetic type is all about. And how will it be able to help you? Because if you're dealing with a chronic health issue and you have been seeing a lot of different providers and you haven't been getting the results that you're looking for, there's some other component out there. There's a genetic component. You're looking for answers to your health mystery. It's for those that really want to get back into the game of life and want to stop sitting on the sidelines in fatigue, exhaustion, burnout, not being able to focus and concentrate, not living the life that you've been meant to live. And there's this genetic component that we want to teach you about. That's what your genetic type is all about. All right, so this is for anyone who's looking for a basic understanding how to recognize that there are these genetic qualities that could be missing from your life. So you're born, your mom, your dad give you genetic susceptibilities that make it more likely that you're not good at detoxing, or that you're not good at repairing your tissues, or you're not good at balancing your hormones, or you're not good at making neurotransmitters. And what we want to teach you is, based on your genetic type, what are going to be the best diet recommendations? What are going to be the best supplementation recommendations? What tests should you do based on your genetic type? And how should you go about approaching your doctor and asking them questions about how to get your health back? Because it's a brand new paradigm shift on what it means to have a genetic susceptibility. And probably you've heard of MTHFR before. That's probably why you're on our site and you're looking for more information. And I just love this quote that Dr. John Thomas mentioned, that he says, hey, knowing your MTHFR status and concluding that you understand your genetic story is like reading the first chapter of the Harry Potter series and saying you know how it ends. So John, why don't you tell us a little bit about what that actually means and what that has to do with your genetic type?
Yeah, so, as both of us healthcare practitioners that have practices that focus in genetics, one thing that we see all the time is people get this MTHFR gene checked and they have mutations in it, and they think they know that they have methylation impairment. They know they have genetic weakness based on this one gene alone, and realize that genetics is more than just MTHFR. MTHFR is one gene in a sea of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of genes that could be impacting why somebody is stuck, why their health is not recovering. So what we've done in this website and in the material put together is talking about things in addition to MTHFR, and realize that MTHFR is not the biggest fish in the sea. So we're talking about genetic aspects, we're talking about genetic predisposition and how our epigenetics, our environment, how those things marry together and can create the perfect storm. And when you understand both those stories, you can actually start getting back on the right road to get your health back. So you got to understand that if you've had genetics tests, if you've done a DNA test, or your doctor's checked MTHFR, it goes much, much deeper than MTHFR. Like I said, there are bigger fish in this sea. The MTHFR gene is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much more that you haven't been exposed to or been told. Now, maybe you've investigated this further and you're confused, because once you start delving into genetics besides MTHFR, there's a lot of information. It can get very, very confusing. So what we've done is we have created a game plan to try and help prioritize this, okay? And that's what this genetic type, or your genetic type, is about. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about MTHFR. So we talk about it being the tip of the iceberg, okay? In this pyramid here, in these nutritional genetic priorities, MTHFR is at the very, very top in that green section, and it's at the top for a reason, because it should be one of the last things you look at. There are other priorities that are bigger players. And what this pyramid does, and what we do when we teach information, the information you're going to learn on this website is based on this pyramid here. And so if you've got genetic priorities further below the MTHFR and you're not addressing them, you're not going to recover. If you've got genetic issues in the bottom two rows that are red, those are what we call the deal breakers. And if those are not being addressed, you're going to have an uphill battle in terms of getting your life back. So based on that pyramid and those prioritization, in practice, we've realized that people kind of gravitate towards or are kind of clustered in to different genetic types based on their symptoms and based on their genetic predisposition, based on that pyramid hierarchy. And so we've created 7 genetic types or 7 genetic rabbit holes that you can classify yourself into to go down, that is going to be answers to help you really prioritize and make this simplistic to get your life back. So Joel, why don't you tell everybody about how they can learn more about these 7 genetic types?
Yeah, absolutely, John. So we put together a great course. Hey, which of these 7 genetic types are you? You can opt in. Just all you got to do is leave your email and we'll provide you the follow-up series. And it's a mini course. And we really take a dive down into the questions that you need to answer to know which one are you. And there's a chance that you may have more than one of them. And that's fine. But when you answer the questionnaire and you look into which are the ones that you seem to have more answers to, whether it's having focus issues, being overstimulated, understimulated, all the ones that we'll get into, make sure you opt into that, because now we'll be able to categorize which genetic type you are. And then that begins the process of how do I put together a customized recovery protocol, which means based on my genetic type, the one that I had the most answers for based on that questionnaire and the mini course that I took, I now know which are the best supplements for me to take, or I now know what are the best detox strategies for me, or I now know what are the best nutritional strategies, or I now know what are the best tests that I should do. Because you know how it is when you just go from one provider to the next and you're really not confident with the idea that they're not aware of all of the things that go into your background, your genetics. That's why we've put this together, because we want to simplify the process for you. It's a very overwhelming topic. It could be very frustrating, and you could get anxiety and overwhelmed just from learning about this information. So that's why we've put together the mini course. And above and beyond that, take a look around on your genetic type, and we have provided lots of other tools. Provided a lot of information, having a podcast, going into blog posts, going into interviews, going into different courses. We're really, really excited that you're here. Take a look around. Don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask us whatever questions that you have. Make sure that you take part of our community, which we're building to understand. And really our goal is to not just create a paradigm shift with the medical and alternative community to help end an epidemic of chronic problems, but really in the case for you, to get your own health back. So